This is not a fairy tale. This is not a parable. This is a joint. And when Spike Lee puts his name on a joint, you are being served a dose of cinematic dynamite, a Molotov cocktail tossed with pinpoint accuracy at the fragile veneer of American civility. To discuss BlacKkKlansman, the 2018 incendiary masterpiece, is to discuss a mirror. It is a funhouse mirror, certainly, one that distorts faces into grotesque caricatures of hatred and incompetence, but it is a mirror nonetheless. And what it reflects is not just the polyester-clad absurdity of the 1970s, but the horrifyingly familiar contours of the present. The film opens with the audacity of its own premise, a statement so bizarre it must be true. Disjoint is based on some faux, real shit. And it is. That is the genius and the terror of it. We are plunged into the world of Ron Stallworth, played with a perfect blend of cool determination and simmering frustration by John David Washington. He is an island, the first black detective in the Colorado Springs Police Department. The camera lingers on the sea of white faces in the briefing room, a visual representation of the institution he is attempting to change from within. He is a man with a righteous afro and a quiet ambition, forced to endure the casual bigotry of his colleagues, the jive talk, the assumptions, the quiet condescension. His first assignment is a betrayal of his own identity, to go undercover, wired up, into a rally for Stokely Carmichael, a titan of the Black Power movement. Lee shoots this sequence not as a dry procedural, but as an awakening. We, alongside Ron, are mesmerized by Carmichael's rhetoric, a fiery sermon on black identity and the necessity of struggle. It is here Ron meets Patrice Dumas, the president of the Black Student Union. She is the embodiment of the movement, intelligent, passionate, and deeply suspicious of the police, the pigs. This creates the central internal conflict for Ron. He is the pig she despises, yet he is also the revolutionary soul she ignites. The true story, the faux, real shit, kicks in with the mundane turning of a newspaper page. Ron, bored in the intelligence division, stumbles upon a classified ad for the Ku Klux Klan. For information, it reads, with a P.O. box. On a whim, a glorious, insane, world-tilting whim, Ron Stallworth does what any black man would never do. He calls the number, and he uses his white voice. This is the central conceit, the brilliant, dark joke that fuels the entire narrative. Ron, over the phone, becomes the most zealous, hate-filled, pure Aryan, white supremacist you've ever heard. He hates blacks. He hates Jews. He hates Mexicans. He hates everyone the Klan hates, and he does it with such convincing vitriol that he soon finds himself in regular conversation with none other than David Duke, the Grand Wizard of the Klan himself. Grace's portrayal of Duke is chillingly effective. He is not a drooling, tobacco-spitting monster from a backwoods swamp. He is polite. He is articulate. He is a marketer, a politician, a man dedicated to sanitizing the image of the Klan, bringing its message of hate into the mainstream, cloaking it in the language of white heritage and white civil rights. He is, in short, terrifyingly modern. Of course, a phone-based infiltration has its limits. The Klan wants to meet this enthusiastic new recruit. Enter the other half of this impossible equation, Detective Flip Zimmerman, played by Adam Driver in a performance of profound, weary anxiety. Flip is the physical, Ron Stallworth, who will attend the meetings, wear the wire, and shake hands with the devil. Spike Lee and his co-writers make a crucial, brilliant alteration to the historical record here. The real-life white detective's identity is protected, but in the film, Flip is Jewish. This is not a throwaway detail. It is the thematic core of the film's white half. Flip is a passable, white man, a cop who, as he states, has never given his Jewish heritage a second thought. He's just been a guy, another white cop in the sea of white cops. But the Klan forces him to think about it. Suddenly, his whiteness is conditional. He is subjected to anti-Semitic rants, forced to deny his own blood, and even subjected to a terrifying, impromptu polygraph, where a paranoid Klansman demands he drop his trousers to prove he isn't circumcised, a moment of sickening tension that balances precariously on the absurd. Flip's journey becomes one of forced self-identification. "I never thought about it," he tells Ron, "now it's all I think about." For him, this isn't just a case anymore. It is, as he says, skin in the game. The film then operates on this masterful dual track. We have Ron, the voice, building a bizarre rapport with David Duke, expertly code-switching between his jive self and his white self, his identity splintering and reforming with every call. And we have Flip, the body, descending into the belly of the beast. Lee portrays the Klan members not merely as buffoons, though they are profoundly, dangerously stupid, but as a genuine threat. They are men who drink beer, talk about their families, and then casually plan domestic terrorism. They are banal, and that is their horror. The film masterfully balances its tone, swerving from laugh-out-loud comedy to heart-stopping tension, without ever feeling disjointed. It is a thriller, a buddy cop movie, a romance, and a biting political satire all at once. Lee, as a filmmaker, is operating at the peak of his powers. He draws a direct, unbroken line between the cinematic past and the political present. He opens the film with a scene from Gone with the Wind, the ultimate American romanticization of the lost cause, followed by a blistering, racist tirade from a character who is literally projecting his hate over footage from D.W. Griffith's The Birth of a Nation. Lee is telling us, from frame one, that this isn't just about men in hoods. This is about the stories America tells itself, the cinematic DNA that has poisoned the well, the normalization of white supremacy through culture. This is juxtaposed later in the film with one of the most powerful sequences Lee has ever directed. As the Klan members gather in a house for a formal initiation, they gleefully watch The Birth of a Nation, cheering and hooting at its racist depictions as David Duke presides over the ceremony. Lee cross-cuts this scene with another gathering. The Black Student Union has invited Jerome Turner, an elder statesman of the civil rights movement, to speak. He recounts, in devastating, quiet detail, the real-life lynching of Jesse Washington in 1916. His voice, filled with sorrow and gravity, overlays the images of the Klansman's orgiastic, popcorn-fueled celebration of cinematic hate. It is an editorial gut punch, a direct confrontation with the audience, showing us the two Americas, one that consumes racist fantasy as entertainment, and one that lives with the brutal, tangible consequences of that fantasy. The relationship between Ron and Patrice also serves as a vital thematic battleground. She challenges him, forcing him to question the very system he has sworn to uphold. Can you change a racist institution from the inside? Is he a pig, or is he a brother? The film doesn't offer easy answers. It presents the police department as rife with systemic rot, personified by the venomously racist officer Landers, but it also gives us Ron and Flip, and even a chief who, while flawed, ultimately green lights the operation. It is a complex, messy portrait, one that refuses simple moralizing in favor of a more nuanced, and thus more troubling, truth. The film's climax, involving a planned bombing of Patrice's student rally, is a deviation from the real Stallworth's memoir, but it is a necessary cinematic escalation. It brings all the threads together: Ron's love for Patrice, Flip's immersion in the group, and the Klan's true, violent intentions. The tension is unbearable, a masterclass in suspense. The operation is a success, the bomb is thwarted, the most cartoonishly evil cops are exposed, and David Duke is humiliated over the phone one last time by the real Ron Stallworth. For a moment, it feels like a victory. There is a sense of camaraderie, of a job well done. Ron and Patrice share a quiet moment, looking out into the hallway, guns drawn, as if sensing a new threat. We hear a knock at the door. They brace themselves. And then, Spike Lee rips the 1970s reality away from us. He shatters the cinematic comfort. He refuses to let us leave the theater feeling good, feeling that this was a problem of the past, a story neatly concluded. The image of Ron and Patrice dissolves, and we are hit with a sledgehammer of truth. We are no longer in 1970s Colorado Springs. We are in Charlottesville, Virginia, 2017. The screen is filled with real footage from the Unite the Right rally. We see the tiki torches, the polo shirts, the faces of young white men, not in hoods, but out in the open, chanting the same hateful slogans Ron heard over the phone. We hear the real David Duke, older but no less venomous, praising the rally as a fulfillment of Donald Trump's promises. We see the counter-protesters. And then, we see the car. We see it accelerate. We see it plow into the crowd. We see the bodies fly. The film ends with the harrowing image of Heather Heyer, the woman murdered in that attack, and then a haunting, silent image of an American flag, inverted, bleeding its color until it is a stark, desolate black and white. This is Spike Lee's final, devastating statement. This is the faux, real shit. He refuses to let BlacKkKlansman be just a movie. He denies us the catharsis of a period piece. He holds our faces to the mirror and demands we look. He is screaming at us that the past is not past. The monsters are not gone. They just stopped wearing the hoods. They are in the streets, they are on television, they are in positions of power. The language David Duke used to sanitize the Klan in the 70s, America first, take our country back, is the same language that echoed through the 2016 election and beyond. BlacKkKlansman is not a history lesson. It is a wake-up call. It is an indictment. It is a profoundly patriotic act of cinematic defiance, a film that loves America enough to tell it the ugly, unvarnished truth about itself, then and, most importantly, now.